Hi there, my name is Peter and I will be your commentator for this battle. The key buildings on this map are the archery dojo, workshop and the farmhouse. I go for the archery dojo and so my enemy sends his army there as well. He sends all of his cav to one flank while his Yari units are left to protect his bow samurai. I have chosen to go for the archery dojo over the workshop because I have 3 bow warrior monks and this building will give them a large boost. I already have bow superiority as my bow units are 3 monks versus the enemy's 2 samurai, but I want to boost them so I can deal with the enemy matchlock unit as fast as possible and at as far as possible range. This is because I consider matchlock fire a very dangerous morale destruction weapon, and in a melee battle line it can turn the tide of a battle to an enemy side, so I need to take it out before the main engagement. The enemy now stops his advance on the key building and moves his cavalry further to his flank. The enemy understands that he has lost this moment to contest the key building, and as he has no Yari cavalry or Great Guard in his army, he has no fast mobile force to attempt it now. All he can do is to start the bow skirmish before I capture the archery dojo and my bow monks become far too powerful for his samurai to deal with. He positions his bows better and faster than I do and makes up for the samurai's lower range stat with some good micromanagement. I get one of my bow monks exposed and he starts to kill them very fast, but as you can see this unit is a low upgraded veteran, only with extra reload speed. It's a sacrificial unit, though an expensive one. The enemy even uses his whistling arrows on this unit, which gives me extra time to set up my other 2 200 range bow monks in good position and let loose on his bow samurai. This may be an expensive sacrifice of a unit, but it buys time and space for me to take out his bow samurai and capture this building. The bow skirmish continues, but with each volley I get more kills faster. By the time my sacrificial unit is ready to rout, I debuff his bows with whistling arrows and keep killing them off. I also need to point out that once again I forget to use stand-up fight with my general and give my bow units an extra boost. Luckily for me the enemy made the same mistake, and with the archery dojo captured my bows will get a good reload speed boost. And now at last my bow monk unit routs, but I have already reduced his bow samurai to a handful and they no longer pose a threat. Now that I have won the bow skirmish, I finish capturing the key building and the enemy is not going to just sit and watch. He now starts to move his entire army forward, his Yari at the forefront to guard his matchlocks and sword units against my cavalry. I now start to reform my army as I'm going to be on the defense here to use my advantage in bows as much as possible. I am also firing off whistling arrows into his advancing units to discourage the enemy from attacking while his units are debuffed and buying myself some time. The enemy keeps his cav on one flank, moves his general to support his main army body and keeps pushing forward with his matchlock unit. The unit is protected by Yari from a cav charge but has no defense against my arrows. I keep shooting at that unit and also pull back my army to set up for a defense. I managed to forget one of my bow monks in the process. I leave it at the right side of the key building and it's going to get engaged by the enemy's Yari units. That was just another of my micro mistakes in this battle, but I do get my other unit of bow monks to keep shooting at his matchlock unit and reduce its numbers. Now as the enemy keeps advancing, I finally move my bow monks back and also the rest of my army. Now as the enemy has closed in, he gives his matchlock units orders to fire. He charges forward with his Yari unit and I get my cavalry out of there so I can send them to fight his katana cavalry at the flank. I also keep pulling back with my army. Now for a perfect example of the Shogun's 2 rock paper scissors concept. Yari and Great Guard cavalry against katana cavalry. Yari infantry against cavalry. Katana infantry against Yari infantry. Nodachi samurai against katana samurai. And finally, bows versus Nodachi. My katana vanilla units end up against Nodachi veterans and will get smashed. I have to move my katana cav away from his Yari and engage them with swords. And during all this, his matchlock unit keeps shooting at my general through all these units. On the flank, my Yari and Great Guard have killed most of his katana cavalry, while his Yari are getting closer, but with my katana on their tail. Now, in order to get rid of those general sniping matchfucks, I used what is left of my katana cavalry to charge right into them. Now I get another problem. My right flank made up of vanilla units has collapsed and routed, and my bow units and my avatar are protected only by the Great Guard unit. Luckily for me, the enemy made his next mistake right there and charged his general bodyguard into this Great Guard, who are now going to chase after him, and are going to tie up his sword units as well. But the enemy now gets his one unit of samurai to go all the way to my bowmax and my general in stand and fight formation, but luckily for me, they never engage. The enemy ran with his generals so he could set up his own stand and fight, while my cavalry finished off his and had to run from his yari so it can do a back charge. We both had units favoring and both had our rally abilities on, so it was just a matter of time before one of the armies routed. But with my cavalry superiority now coming into play, I get his general engaged and get my other cav units to rout his remaining bow samurai. With those two important tasks completed, I just have to protect my own general from getting attacked and wait for the morale penalties to stack high enough for his remaining units to rout from the battlefield. The enemy gets his katana samurai to flank my own unit, but then continues on to my bowmans and engages them too. They stop firing and go into melee mode. While that is happening, I scrounge what is left of my cavalry units for a final charge into already wavering enemy units. A few charges and they all end up routed. Don't forget to enter your own idea for the Name Thy Battle contest in the video comments.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.